Today's interview on the history of Nipigon is about the thrift shop. And we have Linda Robinson and Donny Ruoho here. And although the records show that Nipigon had a small thrift shop in 1960 and one in the 80s that was consignment, they were short-lived. And I'm just going to read the little bit that I found in a 1960 paper. Closed donation. The thrift shop in Nipigon asks that all donations of clothing for the needy Indians in Lansdowne House be brought to the shop before Thursday so that bundles can be arranged to be sent by airlift at the end of the week. Residents are asked to look at the list that appeared in the Sentinel 3 weeks ago and try to fill the needs. So obviously there was a thrift shop somewhere, and we need to kind of look into that because it's something that a lot of people don't remember. So Linda, you can sort of start how this came about, the one of today.
Okay, well, we opened this in 2009, and it's called the Top of Superior Thrift Store. We have volunteers from 5 local churches here in town. Each church is responsible for a day's work, volunteers and that. And twice a year, any proceeds that we receive from the sales are divided equally among the churches.
So I'd like you to list the churches because this video might be seen elsewhere in Canada or maybe in 5 years. So it would be nice if the churches are listed and people would know.
Okay. Now, do you want me to start over then?
No, just add the churches.
Okay. The churches that we have working currently are St. Mary's Anglican Church, Grace United Church, Church of Annunciation, the Pentecostal Assembly, and Emmanuel Lutheran Church. And the starting of this was the brainchild of Lavina Collins.
And St. Mary's Church.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
They met me one day at Sechner's and came up with this idea, and we got together, and shortly afterwards, here we started.
Okay.
Okay. Now, mostly we have just donations of clothing, but we do take small furniture and tools and toys and books, just about everything except for children's cribs and things which can be dangerous if they're not at the
car seats
standards. Yeah.
that have expiry dates.
So maybe tell how you acquired this building then, Linda.
Okay, this building was, Lavina actually found the building. It was Thunder Bay Insurance, and they left town. The building was empty, and we ended up getting it at a very good deal. Our rent includes utilities and everything, and they've been super good with us here. And so that's now Gillen's Insurance.
Oh, right.
And so we just pay rent to them, and they pay all our utilities, so it's toasty warm in here, and we're happy.
We kind of try to look after the upkeep of the building. We look after things like we repaired the furnace, done lighting stuff like that. But
So you're allowed to change the shelving or whatever you like to suit your needs.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Because I think the inside's been renovated a couple of times, the setup, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We started out with little cubby holes, and it just didn't work that way, so we ended up getting shelving from the old library here in town, and it's just grown, and we're tightly packed in here, but as long as we keep it neat, it's okay.
In this article, this was actually, the rough part was compiled by Barb Brennan, who volunteers here, so she was just talking about the special days of the year. You've got stuff for every day,
Right.
every special occasion.
All the donations, when they're brought in, are taken. We have a full basement downstairs, and we have volunteers down there who come in twice a week just to sort through the bags and the boxes. And all Christmas is put in one section, Easter in another, Halloween in another, and all the summer clothes. Like if you came in January and wanted a lady's bathing suit or a summer dress, the bins downstairs are labeled, whether it's a summer dress, bathing suits, children's clothing, men's shorts, no matter what. All like winter coats are generally hung, so we can pretty well easily find something that isn't upstairs. Not always, but we try our best.
But that's a benefit because you often go into a clothing store, all the summer stuff's put away once fall gets here, and they aren't able to bring it out. So
Yeah.
that is one benefit for sure.
Yeah. Barb Brennan and Maria Ribeiro have been downstairs sorting, and they have it really well organized. Everything is labeled in the bins and that. The only trouble we have, we do not make a mess if we go down there to look for something.
So, Donnie, would you be able to go down there and find things?
Yes, it's not encouraged for us to go rooting around in there. I mean, but she does have it labeled that if there's something that's specific that they want to see, we'll go and have a look quickly. I won't unpack boxes to look for stuff.
Oh, okay.
And only the volunteers go down there.
Right.
Yeah.
Public is not to go down, basically for insurance purposes, which
Yeah.
makes sense.
Right.
Now, the other thing too was that the proceeds from these donations are donated to the churches twice a year, and generally it's always been in June and December. And at that point in time, the churches can use that if they want to use it for an outreach program, any local donations to the Jump Start, wherever, or if they need it for utilities or repairs on the church. That's up to them to be able to make that decision.
We rolled some back for the cenotaph from our church for the cenotaph rebuild. We give to the food bank at Christmas. We peel off some money for that.
I forgot what I was going to say.
It's a spot on North Shore that a lot of people stop. They're heading through to, like, down to Marathon, Long Lac, Charlton. They'll stop in, just check things out. It's surprising how many people stop.
And Barb had it, and because I comment when I come down, I see motorcycles
Yeah.
often parked out here,
And
or cars from Alberta.
And they like our prices. They're way more reasonable than what you find in Thunder Bay. That's for shops.
Right,
Big difference.
right.
Yeah, most of our shirts, pants, purses, shoes, summer shoes and things are all $3,
And tell what you do with because you have an excess of children's clothing. I see that advertised.
With a $5
yeah,
bag. Yeah.
we have $5 bags for children's clothing 2 or 3 times a year. And generally just before the season finishes, like we just finished one in the fall. And we go through a lot of clothing at that point in time when they start filling. It's a Zechner's bag for $5, which
Right.
is a pretty good deal because we have we have Oshkosh clothing for children, from a lot of clothing from the Children's Place. It's
I noticed you have lots of stuff that's still brand new sometimes.
Well,
Yeah.
price tag store. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So have the tags on them and you pick them up.
And the excess we take to Thunder Bay. It's the stuff that we can't have room for. We take to Thunder Bay. And I actually had a request by one minister on Simpson Street, Outreach Ministry, and dropped off 20 bags there. And he went through them and took out stuff that people in that area could use, and then moved the rest onto the missions on May Street. I forget what they call that one. It's
Yes, there's that one. There's Grace Place. too,
Grace. Yeah, well, that's where we dropped. It was a Grace Place. And,
Right.
and I dropped in there about 2 weeks afterwards, and it was just a couple of pieces left of clothing. He says, and people are very appreciative. People come in there and
Right.
just be able
And
to
those
take
are places that often give away.
It was all given.
It was all given
It was
away
all
free
given away,
for,
yeah.
for donations.
And he said it's a huge need.
Right.
yeah. I mean, if we have towels or blankets too that come in that are stained or torn or something, those are saved and we take them up to the Humane Society for the rescue animals.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So we have a lot of places we can send things that are in need.
right.
We've had hitchhikers come in and get warm clothing for free.
Right.
You can tell that they're in need.
Right. And Barb and I were discussing after a disaster such as a fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had they've opened the doors there after the big fire here on Newton Street, I think it was. We came in and just took everything that they needed for free.
Right.
Yeah.
Kitchen stuff and clothing and the whole bit. Just
So besides making a few dollars for the church, it's really a service.
yes,
A service to so many people.
try to be.
Right. Right. It is.
So,
Right.
and the local people and people from the whole area, I mean, it's been astounding how many donations we've received. It's just phenomenal. Like, we just can't thank
It's
the people
overboard,
enough for everything. And we try and explain that, 99% of everything gets used somewhere by somebody. It's
Right.
it's a need right now.
Right. It seems to be a need in every town.
Yes.
Every place there is a thrift shop anymore.
Separate School was doing a zombie walk this Halloween for raising money for the food bank. And one of the teachers came in here and was looking through the clothing for strange stuff, right, to put on for the zombie walk. And I suggested to her that the stuff she was looking at, she was going to pay for it. I said, well, let's not look through here. Let's go to the bags that are going out for free out to Thunder Bay. You can spend your time, go through there, and whatever you find, put it in a bag, and we'll just write it down and no charge. But she had a big smile on her face and 2 big bags full of clothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Stuff like that, too.
That's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because thrift shops are known for Halloween, people
Yeah,
going there for
yeah,
Halloween
yeah,
costumes,
yeah,
aren't they?
yeah.
I know even in Thunder Bay are well known for that, right? For
We have
sure.
a lot of fun helping dress some people up for the
Right.
holiday.
So maybe mention your fashion shows,
Yeah.
Linda.
Yeah, last summer we had a couple of fashion shows, and one was for the Blueberry Blast in August, and one was for the Fall Fishing Festival. And ladies could come in, and they would choose an outfit, and some got shoes, purse, the whole complete outfit. They take it home and get dressed up for the fashion shows, and they look like $1 million coming out of the, coming out onto the stage. It was
Right.
quite interesting, and they generally have 2 or 3 outfits, and they're allowed to keep an outfit because they're doing this for as a volunteer to help us and to help the festivals,
Right.
and so
Because-
and we had a lot of fun dressing some people.
I just remember the first one was at St. Mary's Church
That was a few years ago.
a few
yeah.
years ago, and it was a real success. Yeah,
Mhm.
and it's amazing what people found here.
And we had models anywhere from about 10 years old up to in their 80s. And the people in town here, they just come out and they help. It's
Right.
just great. I mean, I find much better than, hate to say it, but living in a city.
Perfect for sure. Any other little things you can think of that you get a lot of books and that? Do you actually have a big turnover of books?
We just take soft-covered books, like paperbacks and that. We were getting a lot of hardcovers. People just didn't seem to want to take them anymore, and it was hard for us to move them. So,
What about magazines?
a lot of times we do magazines. Yeah, we
Right,
have
yeah.
people who do crafts who want that that thicker paper for the magazines, and otherwise than that, if anybody just wants a magazine, they can come in and take one. They're just sort of a handout, and it's interesting.
That's one thing we've noticed, that the books that people used to have in their houses, the Reader's Digest books, these beautiful picture books and books of knowledge and stuff like that, they end up here because people don't have the heart to get rid of them. But nobody wants them anymore.
No.
Even the shops in Thunder Bay, they get charged to dispose of them, so they won't take them. They don't want
Wow.
them. Yeah. Pocketbooks, stuff like that, are still popular, but these.
Right. So the hardcover books here can be recycled because Norman
Yeah.
will take the covers off and
Okay.
recycle all the pages. So they can be recycled.
That's what we did with some. Yeah,
Yeah.
some that we're
Yeah.
getting.
And there must be hundreds of those around.
Oh yeah.
Those
there's-
Oh
hardcover
yeah,
yes,
books.
yeah, there is.
Yeah,
And,
for sure.
But what is popular are puzzles.
Are they?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We go through a lot of puzzles, DVDs, music, and Christmas decorations. We have a lot of Christmas decorations. We could decorate quite a few homes in town,
Wow.
and so we're just organizing it now. This is getting on to the middle of November, and we have everything from trees to lights, anything you could think
Ornaments,
of.
all kinds of ornaments,
Outdoor ornaments, indoor.
What do you think the biggest item is that people donate?
Clothing,
Yeah.
women's clothing.
Women's clothing.
Yeah, women's shirts, women's blouses. Yeah, I'd say that would be fairly the biggest.
Okay. And they move quite well.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I always just look in the window and see the glassware there, and I'm amazed at how much glassware and mugs get recycled. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, in the spring we go through a lot of wine glasses. Everybody takes wine glasses out to their camps, and they seem to get broken. So
Yeah.
we collect them all winter, and in the spring they go. It goes in cycles as
Right.
what sells what time of the year.
It's also impressive that you can come in and ask a volunteer if they have a certain item, and they take the time to go and look for you.
Yeah.
You never know what's on a shelf. The volunteers are more likely to know what's on a shelf
Yeah.
than people who come in.
Most times, some volunteers are only here once a month, so they have to hunt around too. But a lot of times I'll get a note saying someone was looking for something or other, and this is their name and phone number. And if I can find it downstairs, we'll call them back and have them come in and take a look, see if this is what they're looking for.
Anything else that we can think of? But I did put at the end of the write-up, of course, that it's a good place to shop in Nipigon,
Oh, for sure.
and it is a benefit to the businesses on Front Street. It does as much business as some other small businesses on Front Street, so the thrift shop is certainly an asset.
Well, I
to
like the
community.
fact too that what would have happened to a lot of this clothing, a lot of it may have just gone to the dump, and that would have been the end of it. You know, people just get tired of it, put it in a bag, and it's gone.
Right.
And this way, it gets to be recycled. And
Thousands and
Yes.
thousands of items.
yes,
Yeah.
we are a society that buys way too much, more than what we need. I know I do. I have more clothing that I'll never wear it out.
Right.
But it's just you go shopping and you see something, it attracts you, and
Yeah.
There's
somehow or other it jumps into your arms.
There's been discussion about getting a bigger place so we could do furniture items and stuff, but then that brings another problem because then other women can't lift it, they can't move it around. You know, it's better to just see it. This size works well.
We're very centrally located,
Yeah,
right in
yeah.
the middle of town here.
Right.
Yeah. We've got the odd set of set of drawers or something that we can put out front. They don't last half an hour, they're gone.
They're gone.
Yeah.
Type of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like chairs, small dressers, tables. We'll take those. That's no problem. It's just when you get into Chesterfields and bedding and the larger items, washing machines and things. If you have a washing machine that you're wanting to donate, if you take a picture of it and the details, we will send someone over to your house to buy it.
Oh, that's
Okay.
If they're looking. If
That's
we
a
have,
good
if we
way
have a
to do
note that somebody's looking for whatever.
Yeah.
oh.
We got a little goes along here and somebody's looking for this or somebody's looking for that. We'll pass it along.
So that's a great way to dispose of the large items
And
Yeah.
it's
that can't come to the thrift shop.
Yeah.
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 3 minutes left.
Okay.
Any other small things you can think of then? Maybe just mention the hours that a thrift shop is open, Linda.
Okay. We are open Monday to Saturday, 10 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. We sort of started that as a bit of a joke because we didn't want to get up too early in the morning in the wintertime. And we wanted to get home in time to make supper. So, because
Right.
most of the ladies are older volunteers, and that's a long enough day to run, you know.
Right, right. for
And
sure.
so it's a very social time in here. People walk by if it's a cold day. They just walk in and get warm. They sit down for a while and chat, or go next door to the La Luna and buy a coffee and come in and chat. Or a lot of times people come in with donuts from Tim Hortons and just sit down and chat. You know. So
And so you have both men, because Donnie's here, men and women that
oh, definitely.
volunteer.
We
Right.
started out mostly women, but the men are moving in on us. You know, we have maybe a half dozen men that work here at the
Yeah.
shop. Someday I'll have to count just how many volunteers we have, but there's at least 30 or 40. You know,
It's a good.
between all of the churches and that. So it's
So once again, it's another service that depends on good volunteers. Community.
And one other thing, you do not have to belong to a certain church if you want to volunteer.
It's a community.
Yeah.
Right.
mhm. You know, your hours, it's all piled into a pot, and it's divided between the 5 churches without.
Yeah, we're assigned our day, and we're to look after that day. So if there's somebody can't make it, we should get the fill in.
Right. Right. Okay. Perfect. Thank you very much
Okay.
for your time and your information.